Hey, guess what? Dylan was right, because it is Dynamite. No freaking way. So this one will be the Dynamite Maximum Carnage episode for 1/15/25. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought I uploaded this episode already. Turns out I didn't. So why don't we just crack right into it? Tony Schiavone, Taz, and Excalibur. Who's that? Excalibur. There we go. Are on commentary. They greet everybody to the show, and they open it with a hype package. Then we have Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage. Don Callis is on commentary for this because Cage is part of the Callis family, and he gets involved in the match and gets hurt throughout the match. Just gets beaten up. Omega hits 2 V-triggers and a one-winged angel on Brian Cage for the win. After he wins, Fletcher and Archer come down to beat him up. They target his gut with a punch, and Ospreay comes down to save him, and someone... I don't know what I said there. He comes down to save him, and he takes out the bad guys with Kenny as well to have this kind of like feel-good moment. Kenny starts yelling at Ospreay, saying he could have done it himself. He didn't need his help, until Will shoves him out of the way and jumps over the top rope. As soon as he does that, Takeshita comes out and beats down Kenny. Unfortunately, due to the numbers of the Don Callis family, the number advantage takes advantage, and they lay out Will and Kenny. They stand over the bodies, and Don Callis lays some cheap shots in him, and him and his family leave to end the segment. Commentary then tries to bring us back to things by telling us what's up next, and MVP gives a pre-recorded message about how MVP's getting in the ring for the first time in 2.5 years, and they will beat up their opponents coming up next. Before we get to that, we get a shot from New York with the Learning Tree, the collective group, and Chris Jericho. He says what's going to happen at Collision. If you want to see that, you gotta wait for the review, or watch the actual episode of Collision, considering it's like a month old by now. Ricochet then comes on out and talks about what he did 2 weeks ago to Swerve. I think that was the Scissor episode for reference. After soaking in some booze from the crowd and letting them get to him, he says, hey, that's okay. If that's how it's going to be, a picture's worth 1,000 words. He shows the image of him and the scissors to Swerve, and then Swerve's theme hits, and King Nana hits him in the back with a chair. I popped at that. Swerve comes out with a chain, like a metal chain, like one of the... I don't know how to say it, like the things you lift weights with that weigh like 20, 30 pounds. And he swings it hard at Ricochet. Thankfully, Ricochet dodges it. It just hits the mat. And then he goes through the crowd out the exit as Swerve goes after him. And that's how we end that segment. They're out in the snow, and he's going after it. We then get a high package for Mercedes Moné. And after that, Hurt Syndicate comes out for a 3v3 against Mark Briscoe and Private Party, where the Hurt Party spams signatures and finishers to get the win. I don't know why I called them Hurt Party. They're the Hurt Syndicate. But yeah, they end up winning. The Hurt Syndicate does. Show what happened on past episodes of Collision and Dynamite between Cope and Pac. By the way, watch my reviews if you want to do that, or just listen to earlier in this podcast, I guess. And then they send to a hype package for Rated FTR. After that, Double J comes out and gives a promo about, well, who knows, because MJF cuts him off. Says that last week he gave him an opportunity and he turned him down. Double J ends up cutting him off and calls him lazy. Max yells at him for that and apologizes for it, then hypes himself up and runs down the crowd, says that Double J is the last thing that you will see before your favorite wrestling company dies. He runs down Double J, taking shots at Jeff's past issues with alcoholism while going at the crowd also. He suggests that he sends Jeff back to rehab and then takes a shot at his wife. Jeff just takes it like a cuck and then responds saying that everything Max has been said 1,000 times. He knows that the best years of his career are behind him, but last summer the crowd awoken a desire and a passion in him, and he's going to do everything in his power to keep that passion going, because that's the only thing that keeps him going. He calls Max a knockoff Double J, but Jeff did it better than him, and he doesn't know if Max is a scumbag or a dumbass. He takes a shot at his parents and says that his lady was sleeping with the boys backstage. He says that Max needs him because he's drowning in his own shit. He keeps on rambling for a bit, honestly, just getting sick burns at him like this. Then Max retorts that he didn't need his own daddy or anybody to start his own wrestling company to be a top guy because he made himself. Max brings up that he was on record, he was a record-setting champion and only lost it because the people turned their back on him, and he hates that he has to wait in line for it. He brings up Owen and how Jeff's riding the coattails of his deceased friend. That was enough for Double J to unload on him. Security tries to separate them, and he shoves them off to get to MJF. Then Karen Jarrett comes out, and Max puts her in a choke and uses her as a hostage until he gets near the ropes so he can run away. We then go to a hype package for Ishii and Okada for Maximum Carnage, I think Friday, not today. Yeah, Friday. Or, sorry, Saturday. I keep on forgetting Rampage was on Friday and this is on Saturday. After that, Christian Cage comes out for a match against Hook, but Hook jumps him off the bat. The rest of Christian's group comes out for him, and then the Shibata comes out for Hook. Hook almost wins with the Kata Hajime. No, it's not the red rum to me. But Nick Wayne and Chris Sabian jump Hook to get the DQ win for Christian. They get chairs and try to break Hook's arm again, but Taz gets up and you thought he was going to go to the ring, but in a turn of events, Samoa Joe comes out, and I think this was his return, and he ends up saving Hook. They clean house, and Shibata gives Sabian the PK to stand tall at the end. For some reason, the Women's Casino Battle Royal isn't the main event for this show, but it's the second to last match. And we have it. They show a hype package for the UK while using the Casino Battle Royal as hype. Honestly, I don't know. Oh, Undisputed Kingdom. That makes more sense. Okay. And they were talking about the events that happened during that men's Casino Battle Royale, which I think I uploaded that episode. So you know what? We'll get to that later. We then get a Double J interview with Renee about where we go from here. Jeff starts to say something, but Dustin comes by and says that he's pissed off at how MJF is acting, and he wants to get Double J to get his gold. After that, he gives a fiery promo just hyping up Jeff and says that him and Jeff are the last of their kind. And that's essentially all of that. I think that's his way of saying he'll take over against MJF. We then get Mariah May coming out for commentary for the Casino Women's Battle Royale. The first participant is Chris Statlander, and then Jamie Hayter comes out. Just like the Royal Rumble, I don't know how to do this, so I'm just going to list the participants, give my comments, and then say, ooh, blah, 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 got eliminated. So yeah, this was a great 1v1 to start it up, but Mariah on commentary was also equally as good of a way to build her up. After that, next up was Megan Wayne, who was returned to AEW after competing in Stardom for a bit. After some sequences, next up is Julia Hart. Her and Jamie Hayter fight outside. Next up is Willow. We then get Toni Storm, the rookie, coming up for her first ever Casino Battle Royale. Okay, I'm sorry, I like this bit too much. Then after that is Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron almost picks up the win by taking out Jamie Hayter, but she gets misted by Hart in the face, which blinds her. Tony then rolls up Julia Hart for the win. They end the segment suddenly, and then we get a main event of Powerhouse Hobbs against Mox with Marina Shafir with briefcase. I mean, we all know who's gonna win, but God, it would have been so awesome if they called it audible and let Hobbs win, even if it's just for a week. But yeah, as alluded to, Mox wins with the knee from Yuta, briefcase from Shafir, and Death Riders helping him as a bloody-ass Mox applies the chokehold to Hobbs to win. Death Riders come out and try to take out Hobbs by attacking his knee. They smash it with a chair, and Claudio Pillmanizes his leg. And then FTR comes out late to shoo them off as the Death Riders are in the crowd, and Rated FTR stands tall at the end, except Hobbs, who's kind of a mess in the end. But you know what? He's not part of Rated FTR, so it doesn't matter. Sorry, that's just how they play off things. God. This episode was pretty fun. I'm not even going to lie. They should have definitely had Hobbs go against Mox at like a pay-per-view as a throwaway match to build as Cope versus Mox for the next pay-per-view. But you know what? Who cares? It's wrestling.